The year is 1650, London. You have a bag of gold. It's heavy, it's dangerous to carry, and thieves are everywhere. So you do the smart thing. You walk into a goldsmith shop, the only place in the city with a reinforced vault, and you ask him to store it for you. He agrees. He gives you a paper receipt, a clean check for 100 gold coins. You walk away lighter, safer. But the moment the door clicks shut, the goldsmith realizes something. He looks at the vault, then at the people bustling outside. He realizes they rarely come back for their actual gold. They just trade the paper receipts amongst themselves. The paper became the money. So he asks himself a dangerous question. If the gold just sits there gathering dust, why can't I lend it to someone else? He starts writing receipts for gold that doesn't exist. He lends it out, collects interest, and becomes the richest man in London, creating wealth out of thin air, gambling that everyone won't ask for their money back at once. You might think this is history. It's not. This is exactly how your bank operates today. Except now, the heist has gone digital, and you aren't the customer. You're the mark. Let's start with the safe illusion. When you deposit $1,000 into your savings account, you have a mental image of what happens. You picture it sitting in a little digital box with your name on it, waiting for you. That is a lie. The moment that money touches the teller's counter, it ceases to be your property. It legally becomes the bank's property. In exchange, you get an IOU, a promise that if you ask for it, they'll pay you back. But here's the kicker. Under a system called fractional reserve banking, they are only required to keep a tiny fraction of that money on hand. Historically, it's been around 10%, but in the US right now, that requirement is zero. Zero. The rest, they lend it out. They lend your money to your neighbor to buy a car. The car dealership deposits that money into their bank, which then lends most of it to another person. Your original $1,000 has now been multiplied into $10,000 of money circulating in the economy. Commercial banks actually create about 97% of the money in existence today. Not the government, banks. They create money by creating debt. And why does this matter to you? Because when they print money out of thin air to lend to others, it dilutes the value of the money sitting in your pocket. You aren't just saving money, you are funding the very inflation that makes you poorer. But banks don't just manipulate the money supply, they manipulate biology, specifically a part of your brain called the striatum. This is the reward center. It lights up for sugar, for love, and for cocaine. When you pay with cash, scientists have observed a phenomenon called the pain of paying. Handing over a physical $100 bill activates the insula, the same region of the brain that processes physical pain and disgust. You literally feel the loss. It acts as a natural brake on your spending. Banks hated this brake. So they invented the credit card. But it didn't just remove the pain. A study from MIT Sloan found that credit cards don't just numb the pain, they actually step on the gas. The act of swiping or topping decouples the pleasure of buying from the pain of paying. You get the TV now, you feel the pain later, or never if you just pay the minimum. It sensitizes your brain's reward networks. You aren't buying things because you need them, you're buying them because the card makes your brain light up like a slot machine. And just look at your statement. Why is the minimum payment the biggest, boldest number? That's an anchor. They want you to pay the minimum. Because if you pay it all off, you are a deadbeat to them. That's the industry term for a customer who pays no interest. They don't want customers, they want hostages. If credit cards are a trap for the middle class, then bank fees are a weapon against the poor. Let's talk about the most profitable invention in modern banking, the overdraft fee. It's a mechanism that turns a moment of vulnerability into a financial catastrophe. Imagine this. You're living paycheck to paycheck, walking a tightrope. Below you isn't a safety net, it's a pit of spikes, each one labeled with a $35 fee. You have exactly $3 in your bank account. You're exhausted and you just need a coffee to get through the day. You buy one for $4. Your account balance goes to -$1. Now, the bank could just decline the card, a simple insufficient funds message, but they don't. They let the charge go through. Why? Because in that moment, a giant 16-ton weight labeled overdraft fee comes crashing down on you. That $4 coffee just cost you $39. This isn't a rare occurrence. In 2024 alone, banks collected roughly $5 billion in overdraft fees. $5 billion. And here's the darkest part of that number. The vast majority of those fees, that massive pile of cash, is paid by the poorest 9% of account holders, people who make less than $30,000 a year. It is effectively a tax on being poor. It's an algorithm designed to kick you when you are already down. And the name they give this service? Overdraft protection. Protection? Imagine a bodyguard who watches you get mugged and then hands you a bill for $35 for witnessing services. That isn't protection, it's predation. But let's say you're smart. You don't overdraft. You pay your credit card bill on time. You think you've beaten the system. You haven't. Because in 2025, money isn't the only currency. Data is. Your bank statement is a diary of your life. The bank doesn't just see numbers, it sees your habits, your hopes, your struggles. It knows where you eat, what subscriptions you have, where you travel. It sees the diapers, the wine, the gym membership. And they have figured out how to monetize every single entry in that diary. Think of their vault. It isn't filled with gold bars. It's filled with files. Files with your name on them. And marketers are lining up to pay cash for the secrets inside. Banks aggregate and anonymize this transaction data, then sell the insights to third parties, retailers, insurers, hedge funds. They use your spending habits to figure out how to sell more effectively to you. You aren't just the customer of the bank, you are the product they are selling to the highest bidder. So you have psychological chops, mathematical chops, and now digital chops. The entire system is designed to extract wealth from you. How do you fight back? First, reintroduce the pain of spending. Use cash or a debit card for discretionary purchases. When you physically hand over money, your brain feels the loss in a way that a simple tap of a card doesn't register. It forces you to be more conscious of your decisions. Second, call your bank tomorrow and strictly opt out of so-called overdraft protection. Tell them you want the card declined if the money isn't there, period. Take away their ability to charge you $39 for a $4 coffee. Third, recognize that a standard bank account is not a place to build wealth. It's a tool for transactions. It's a hammer. You can use it to build a house, or you can keep hitting yourself in the thumb with it. By understanding the rules of their game, you can finally start using these tools for your benefit, not theirs. It's time to stop hitting yourself. If you want to keep uncovering the hidden psychology of money and learn how to take back control, make sure you're subscribed. The first step to winning the game is knowing you're in one.